Morning, Piggy.
Morning, take two. Actually, it's take three, because I'd already had a video done to put up for Thursday. Did it on Tuesday. Apparently, my mic quit on me a little over 8 minutes into that video. So I thought, well, darn it. So, doing it again. Then got started this morning. Didn't turn my mic on. Alright, there's you, then there's you, then there's you.
Somebody please go.
You're next.
Oh,
I'm having to direct traffic from my car, folks. These folks don't know what they're doing. Lord have mercy.
no, that's an everyday thing, pretty much.
Yeah, people have forgotten how to drive. I think they hadn't gotten taught how to drive, and their parents didn't know how to drive and didn't teach them right. And my hat's off to those parents of you out there that are teaching your kids how to drive and drive right. So I can see the ones every once in a while that have been taught how to drive. And know some of the old courtesies of the road. Not just the rules of the road, but the courtesies of the road. But anyway, I made a video. I was talking about something I went through with Facebook on Monday morning. Had an interaction with somebody on another person's post. One of my Facebook friends from out west. And everything. Had my opinion on it. Well, I keep forgetting that him and this other guy I know out there on my friends list, they have these particular people on their pages that ain't got no sense. They're intelligent people, they just ain't got no sense. It was like my best friend that passed away a couple of years ago. He was as intelligent as they come. He didn't have a lick of common sense.
Okay.
Yep, good for him. So anyway, they'd come at me. So anyway, Monday morning I went to start doing my morning routine after we'd gotten back. Found out I couldn't do anything on Facebook. I'd been blocked. No. The do not disturb was on, but that in airplane mode, Elaine's told me, it hasn't stopped her from being able to do stuff on Facebook and other things. So that had to be something with what Facebook was saying, because I was able to get a message out to them on feedback about why I had been blocked. I just told them, I said, the only thing I can think of was that situation. I told them the name of the person that was, it likely was. And I said, if it's not that, I said, then somebody there didn't like what I had to say. And you're denying me you're censoring my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. And I want to know who my accuser is. Folks, in less than 5 minutes, I was back on Facebook like nothing ever happened. So, there you go. They figured out this old feller knows his rights, and I should have got over there.
Might as well go straight now, because I ain't going to be able to get over it.
I might can if these will come on. There we go.
Piggy is too worried about talking.
Well, I wasn't thinking. I was just sitting there jaw jacking. I wasn't thinking. So anyway, that done and over with. Got that apparently straightened out. And the thing about it is, they only gave me generalities as to why I might have been blocked. They didn't say exactly why I'd been blocked. Either I'd missed somebody and they felt it was inappropriate, or I said something that went against their community standards. They wouldn't tell me what it was.
Or for how long?
Or for how long. Just that I was. But when I started telling them that I knew the only thing it could have been, and gave them the names, well, the one name, well, they fixed that real quick. But dude knows his rights. Knows he's supposed to be able to face his accuser. And I'd already named it who it was. That was the only thing it could have been. So, that was resolved about as quick as it happened. Got that done and over with. Last night, I couldn't sleep. I was going to go to bed earlier than I normally do last night, folks. Almost made it. Then one of the kitties got rambunctious, and Elaine had to get up and do what she had to do and get that kitty out of there. Well, that was the end of me trying to get some sleep. So I wound up getting up, stayed up for a while. Finally went back to bed about 2.5 hours before I had to get up. Didn't sleep much then either, but I slept. But I was thinking, I got to tell you, the Facebook thing, I'm going to wind up doing one or two things. I'm either going to start me a new page and bring very few over with me, or I'm going to start going through my friends list and just start getting rid of folks, because there's a lot of them that don't actually interact with me. A lot of them, I don't see their posts if they post. They just got me on there as a number. And don't get me wrong, a lot of them good people. But I'm not just a number, folks. I'm a number to the government, not to nobody else.
See ya.
So for the most part, if I do that, for the most part, you find yourself no longer on my friends list, don't take it personal. I'm just cleaning out who I don't hear from, don't have no interaction with. I mean, what's the point of being a friend if you ain't got no interaction? And but there will be some I'll be getting rid of, because like that one I had to deal with on that other friend's post, otherwise intelligent people, but they have let hatred blind them to truth, fact, logic, and rationale. Hatred will do that. That's part of what I told that one on that post. Yeah, they've been blinded by hatred. No, I don't hate him. Yeah, okay. Person contradicted themselves in the first two responses to me. And I let them know about it. I did not. Okay, you can't see that you contradicted yourself. Well, there's other folks that are otherwise intelligent folks, but you listen to what the mainstream tells you to think and say. You look for all sorts of reasons to believe that certain ones or one is something extremely bad. I'm talking spiritually extremely bad, bad as you can get, without looking at the facts, because you can tell you don't look at the facts Because that was Mr. Rabbit folks, if y'all caught that. He saw us coming, he started doing that head wobble. I gave him a thumbs up.
We look for him, that would be.
Yeah, but you can tell you're not looking at the facts and actually studying it out, because one case in point, oh, I think he's the Antichrist. No, he ain't. He's not. Antichrist ain't even going to come from this side of the world. When you study it out, you find out the Antichrist is going to come from the far furthest reaches of the east of the old Roman Empire. Won't be nobody from here. Won't be nobody from England or Africa or South America. It will be someone who in the old Roman Empire would have been the furthest eastern reaches of the old Roman Empire. But because your heart is full of hate, you try to pin that on certain ones. Now, I'm talking about folks that claim to be Christian folks now, y'all. Ain't got nothing against you, but I'm going to tell you what. You got hate in your heart. If you got hate in your heart, you certainly don't have forgiveness in your heart. And if you don't have forgiveness in your heart, God cannot forgive you. I don't care who it is or what they've done or how bad it is. Our job is to forgive them, not condemn them, and pray for them that God will use whatever it is to bring them to a place where they can experience His grace. Somebody does something really bad, should they pay for what they did? Well, yeah. That's supposed to be left up to a judicial system of some sort. But ours is crooked as all get out. Notwithstanding, yeah, somebody does wrong, they need to be held accountable for their actions and be judged by a court system. Not by us, not by you. And it's not for us to condemn them, because there's only one who can condemn. That's God, Jesus. So if you got any kind of hate or unforgiveness in your heart, you're going to burn in hell, folks. That's just the bottom line. Yeah, I'm an old hellfire and brimstone type. Because that's just the truth of it. You sit now, you go on half-cocked about this or that, and you're making assumptions about somebody without any factual basis whatsoever. That's called bearing false witness. Huh? Bearing false witness is gossip, and gossip is akin to murder in the Bible. Because if you look into the definition for murder in the Bible, it ain't just ending somebody's life. It's destroying their reputation based off of no facts, which is assumption. You know the old saying, when you assume, you make an A out of you and me. So I'm just going to tell you, if you're making assumptions and spreading gossip based off that assumption because that's the way you want to think it is, you're a gossip and a murderer, you're going to burn in hell. You better be looking to God, especially if you claim to be a Christian. You know that, because what you're doing ain't Christian. What you're doing ain't Christ-like. You can think you're Christian all day long. But if you're doing things that are against God's own word, you ain't Christian. You ain't following Christ. You've got hatred and unforgiveness in your heart, condemnation in your heart. That ain't your place. And as long as you have that, you ain't got God in your heart. And if you ain't got God and His forgiveness in your heart, He cannot forgive you. You're going to burn in hell. That's just the bottom line. If you don't like that, well, tough luck. That's just cold hard facts. Again, it don't matter who it is, how bad they are, how bad it is what they've done. The only thing you're supposed to look at them and do is pray for them. Pray that God will bring them to Him under that place of grace. Otherwise, you have to burn. If you got straight up hate and unforgiveness in your heart, you are going to burn in flames that are eternal and never go out. And you can never put them out. You never get away from that pain. So, you think about that. But I'll be getting rid of folks like that too off my Facebook because I ain't got no time for that either. Because you be talking about me next. It don't matter if it don't even matter if something is true. You don't go around spreading it and hating on those folks and being unforgiving of those folks. You pray for God's grace over that person's life. That God will bring them under that place of grace to where they'll see the light and come to God. You know, the man who wrote How Great They Are, he was as bad as they come. He was a murderer, rapist, child rapist.
I thought that was Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace. What did I say?
How great they are.
How great? Okay. Sorry, folks. But they kind of go hand in hand. With how great He is to be having that amazing grace. But anyway, the guy who wrote Amazing Grace, he was as bad as they come. Murderer, rapist, child rapist. He didn't care if it had a hole, he was sticking it in. Just bottom line. And the men he'd throw overboard to kill them. Bad storm came up. The cargo, the slaves, got loose and everything, and they was closing in on him, about had him cornered. And he was looking for God. Well, God saved him. It woke him up spiritually. And then he wrote Amazing Grace. Well, I can understand why he saw it as Amazing Grace, because it is amazing, but he pulled him through a situation where he was going to die. They going to kill him. You know, it was bad. So if a person like that can come under God's grace, anybody else can too if they choose to. And I'm going to tell you something else that's going to tick you right off. It is true what the Bible says. There ain't no man or woman, above doing anything that anybody else has done that is absolutely terrible. Under the right conditions, anyone is capable of doing anything. So when you're throwing judgment at somebody else for what they may have actually done, you're forgetting under right circumstances you'd have done the same thing. And don't sit there and say, oh, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't do the other. Yeah, you would if the conditions were right. And I'm going to tell you, I watch people's actions. I love to people watch. I love to watch body language. I've seen lots of people like to hate on some things in particular. And I've seen those same people show indications that if they had the opportunity, they would.
Absolutely.
Because they're just waiting for that opportunity. They're hoping for an opportunity. While they're talking about taking somebody else out for the same blasted thing. Hypocrite much? But if you hit them with those facts, halfway between quarter and half, if you hit them with those facts, oh, they deny it. They get fighting mad denying it. But it's because it's true. Some things ain't true, and I can understand people getting mad, but some things are true. And you can see the indications of it in the way people's actions. Certain body movements and body language and way their eyes move. And you can see that thought in their head. But of course, they're going to deny it if you ever confronted them about it. So, on top of unforgiving folks out there, there's a lot of hypocrites out there too, because you get fighting mad wanting to do this or that to somebody for something they've done. But deep back in your mind, you're hoping for the opportunity to be able to do that, thinking, well, if I had the opportunity and I knew I couldn't get caught. Well, you just as bad as the one that actually did it. Piggy loves you.